Hello, my name is Ida Barresi. I am a speech-language pathologist at the Rose F. Kennedy Center, Children's Evaluation and Rehabilitation Center at Montefiore. I'm here with my colleague.
I'm Maria Valicenti-McDermott. I'm a developmental pediatrician.
We're here today to describe the feasibility of a feeding intervention program that we have implemented for children with pediatric feeding disorders. Research has shown that approximately 62% of children with autism will present with feeding difficulties, which includes increased food selectivity, greater likelihood of unhealthy eating habits, and associated mealtime-related behavioral problems. Not addressing these feeding challenges can result in oral health issues, nutrition deficiencies and imbalances, medical issues such as cardiovascular disease, and delayed oral motor skills, which negatively impacts their ability to learn the skill level for different textures. Some of the feeding characteristics in children with autism include food refusal, oral hypersensitivity, extreme food selectivity, restricted diet, delayed oral motor skill development, and food aversion, especially to specific sensory properties of food. So our feeding intervention model, we utilize a modified version of an evidence-based strategy called the sequential oral sensory approach, which is based on systematic desensitization. We include positive sensory and mealtime experiences through food play. We address oral motor skills, create meal plans. We introduce new foods through this approach. We target oral hygiene through toothbrushing. We also target nutrition. There's a heavy emphasis on parent training and education. And we recreate social scenarios that are associated with food, such as birthdays and holidays. What we really like to emphasize is that our intervention creates strategies that can easily be incorporated into a child's daily routine. Our team includes a speech pathologist, occupational therapist, a nutritionist, and a dentist. It's a multidisciplinary team. This is a weekly intervention over a 12-week period with emphasis on parent-professional collaboration. The sessions are once a week for 45 to 60 minutes in duration and is both child-focused and parent-focused. So the objectives of the study is to describe and examine the feasibility of this intervention.
So in 2022, 24 children with autism and pediatric feeding disorders were referred to the program. 79% were boys and 75% Hispanics. The goals were developed by the families with the therapist and included the tolerance to toothbrushing, increased parental understanding and education, acceptance of new food, improved oral motor skills, positive mealtime experiences, and improved sensory responsiveness. Of the 24, 19, that is 79%, completed the 12-week feeding intervention. So what we observed, but after the 12 weeks of the intervention, there was overall a significant improvement in all goals. And we also noted that those children whose caretakers participated in the program, and they seem to have an increased ability to understand and implement the strategies, the children were more likely to accept new foods. So this is a review of medical records, and it's a small sample size, and we don't have a control group, and we have some difficulties identifying a good scale to measure the pre and post intervention. But overall, we found that the intervention is feasible, and there are some improvement in particular feeding goals that we think are noted too.
So how does our work demonstrate inclusive research practices? We have an interdisciplinary approach. We emphasize collaboration with families, many of them from underserved communities, and we draw on the multidisciplinary skills from other clinicians. Once we plan a prospective study, we're planning to include community collaborators in the project. We're involved through the LEND and UCD programs. We are planning focus groups to discuss the intervention with families and community collaborators. What are the next steps? Well, we plan on conducting a prospective study with a control group. We'd like to manualize the intervention. We want to disseminate our work so we can increase awareness of feeding challenges and identify children earlier so they can receive treatment earlier. We are currently working on a manuscript to provide additional strategies and methods. We're training clinicians to improve earlier identification, webinars for families and professional staff, and we would really like to develop a scale that would be effective in documenting pre and post intervention, especially progress pre and post intervention.
We would like to hear about your experience with children with feeding disorders, and if they have any particular measure that you use, how do you track response to the intervention, and whether you work with other groups of families and children with feeding intervention. Thank you.
Thank you.